Hi there. If you're joining me via YouTube, this is the fourth project in my Peaceful Poppies class, online class for the month of April 2020. I'm also publishing this one publicly because I wanted to just give you a taste of one of the class items that we're learning about this month. And yeah, you can still subscribe to the Peaceful Poppies class. It's $15 Australian, and you'll get the instructions and videos for all of the 4 projects that are featured in the class. So this is just our fourth and last one. And I've left this one till last because it is a little bit messier than the other projects, but that also means that it's a little bit more fun too. So I'm going to show you how to create a really cool background with the Pigment Sprinkles, and how to mix the colours to create a custom colour that coordinates with the colours that you're using in your project. So yeah, I'm going to be using some cardstock that some of you may be familiar with, and if I hold it in the light you can see it's got a little bit of a sparkle. It's the shimmery white cardstock, which is great to use for anything that you're going to be watercolouring or adding a lot of moisture to, because it's not that absorbent. And when you're watercolouring, you'll need to add lots of water either via an aqua pen or aqua painter. But in this case, we're not using an aqua pen, and we're not doing a classic watercolouring technique. It's a bit of a watercolour effect in the background. And we're going to start off, just moving everything else out of the way so I can actually spray this. We're actually just using a spray bottle filled with water, and I'm going to spray over the top of my shimmery white cardstock just to get it really nice and wet there. See how it's kind of bubbling up. Now that's going to dry really nicely, sort of kind of bubbles up and then sits down again. You want to get it pretty wet so that the colours, the pigment, when you add the pigment, it actually starts to move around. So the 2 colours I'm using are Melon Mambo and Daffodil Delight. And we're sort of going with the whole idea that red and yellow, or pink and yellow, will make an orangey coral colour. Now you won't need too much of these sprinkles. So I'm going to imagine where I'm putting my flowers. I'm actually using the template of the original card. If you can see where the flowers are sort of placed, you want to kind of concentrate the orangey colours, if you can, to where the flowers are going to end up, and you'll have a few little bits of white in between, hopefully. So you can see that pigment starting to swirl around. I'm going to add in some of the Daffodil Delight now, and you don't need to use that much of this at all. You just want to add a little sprinkle. You can always add a little bit more water as well once we've added our colours, just to get them moving and blending a little bit more. So where's my bottle? There it is. I'm going to just spray this a little bit more so you can see that that's getting quite an orange glow to it now, which is quite interesting. And then what I'm going to do is I'll grab another piece of this shimmery white. I'm going to add another piece of shimmery white cardstock to this, just to kind of pick up and blot that colour. But that also means that I've got another piece of cardstock that I can use for a project at another time. So you can see how that's picked that up quite beautifully. In fact, I might even use this one instead of that one because I like it. So you can see there, yeah, see how it's just kind of, it's picked up all of that pigment, and it's still moving and swirling, but eventually that will dry. If you want to leave it, if you're not in a hurry, you can put it to the side and leave it. I'm actually going to use my heat tool just to heat this one dry. I'll dry my wet surface a little bit too. I'm going to dry that so it's not soggy anymore. So yeah, if you are in a hurry and you don't have time to set things aside, you can use your heat tool for that purpose, and that's fairly dry. I'm just going to put that to the side now. So I'll bring the card in again, and you can see how I've got 3 different poppies there that have been placed onto the card, and not all of the poppy is actually placed on there. So I showed this technique a little bit earlier on another video that I did for the class, and the technique basically just requires you to put together your flower. So I'm going to grab one of these ones that I prepared earlier. And the most of your adhesive is actually going to go underneath the middle of the flower like that. So you can add a little tiny bit around the very edges if you like. But most of the flower is stuck on in the middle part. And that sort of saves you from getting too messy with the glue. But I'm going to put this one in the top right hand corner here, like that. I'll just hold it down, but you see how I've left some hanging over the edge, and that was deliberate because when I've stuck all of the flowers on, I'm actually just going to go around and trim them. So I'll just stick another one on, and this one will go on the other side. So you're adhering the flowers, but you don't have to adhere the entire flower to the project. I'll stick that one there. Okay, so I'll just put the 2 on for now. Now, bringing the card back in, I'll just let those sit for a little bit. You can see I've got some leaves scattered around, and it's fairly arbitrary where you place your flowers. It will depend on where you've got your pigment sprinkles located on that shimmery white cardstock. But you can use the petals, the leaves in between in those blank areas where you don't have any flowers. And how I created these was I cut 2. So if you're using the dies at home, you will find with the Peaceful Moments bundle with the dies, you'll have 2 different leaves that go together. So this one is the upper layer and this one is the base layer, the larger one. And I cut them out of the two of them out of the same colour cardstock. So I used Pear Pizzazz, which is the same colour as I've used for the greeting here. But to get the 2-tone effect, I've used a little bit of Old Olive ink, and I'm going to grab my dauber here and just shade the bottom leaf in so that when you place the other one on top, which I'll do in a second, you get a variegated leaf. So that's a lot quicker if you're cutting several leaves. If you're making lots of these, you'll actually want to you'll want to use the same colour cardstock because it's so much quicker. And you cut them all out of the one, but to get the variegated look, and you're just going to layer them together like this with a little bit of your Tombow multi-purpose glue. And then these can come over here. So in between where, as I said, where you've put your flowers, you'll want to have some leaves. And again, if I bring this in, you're not going to have the whole leaf on the project. I might actually move that a little bit. When you're using glue, it's good that you can actually move things around a little bit rather than have them stuck as soon as you stick them down. All right, so to get everything neatened up, once you've got all of your flowers and your leaves are stuck on to the shimmery white, you're going to turn your project over and then just grab some scissors and run around the edge, cutting off the excess. So just make sure, if you need to go around and touch up a little bit of the glue with glue as well, you can. But the idea is that you just want to neaten up those edges so that when I turn it back around, you've got a much neater look to your project and everything's contained on the sheet. The base for this card is actually basic black. So everything is cut to size, and for those of you who've purchased the class, I've put all the measurements for every project in your email that I've sent you. But yeah, you want to just make sure that everything is cut so that you've got a little bit of a rim around your project. For the greeting, fairly simple. I've just used my punches, and I've used the 2-inch circle punch, as well as the Label Me Lovely punch, which is one of the new punches from the mini catalogue, and that's that one there, gorgeous, and it goes perfectly with the 2-inch circle punch. So I have I've punched out some Peppers as cardstock with 2-inch circle punch, and I've also punched out a base layer, a bottom layer with my Label Me Lovely punch, and these two are going to go together. But before I stick them together, I'm going to stamp a greeting, and you've got quite a few to choose from the Peaceful Moments bundle. There's quite a few greetings to choose from, and I love that you can use these in scrapbooking as well as card making. And yeah, we've used that on our scrapbook page for this online class as well. But the Happy Birthday is the one that I'm using because I need a birthday card, and I'm just going to grab the memento. And I'm going to stamp that right there. So that's my happy birthday. And that just goes flat onto the black piece. You just want to swivel that round. Another great thing about using your Tombow is that you can make sure it's straight before it sticks permanently. And on the back, you just want to get some dimensionals to pop that on. I finished it off with a piece of the twine, the black twine, and that is also from the current mini catalogue with the golfing set. If you've seen the golfing set, it comes with some gorgeous Country Club. It's called Country Club twine, and you get the 4 different colours in there. I've used the black quite a lot, and I like to be able to match the twine with the project. So I've just got a little tiny bit of that twine there stuck on with a glue dot. And that's basically it. Every single card that you make with these pigment sprinkles are going to turn out differently. You can find all of these products, including the pigment sprinkles and this gorgeous Peaceful Moments bundle. The stamp set and the dies are all in my store, so make sure you go in and have a look, and happy stamping.